Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of What? Let's Not Talk About the Husband.
Hi.
Hi. We're back.
We're back. You've been gone.
I've
We've
been
been
gone.
on vacation.
Well, I guess it was a vacation. I went to our cabin in Canada, and we had a huge ice storm in March that definitely left its mark. The whole region was covered with ice for more than a week. And it just, my neighbors said that while they were there and the ice storm was going on, the sound was just the sound of thunder everywhere. It was just the sound of branches and trees breaking apart.
What is an ice storm exactly?
Okay, so what happens is it rains in the upper atmosphere. The water doesn't turn into snow.
So it's not sleet. It's not
it's rain. It's
hail.
Not hail.
It's not
no.
hail. So what makes it an ice storm?
An ice storm is when it rains, but the ground is frozen. The trees are actually frozen.
So it should snow, but it's not.
As soon as the
snowing.
water hits the trees, it freezes on the branches. So it creates a coating around each branch of ice.
So they
and
get
as it
heavy.
rains more and more and more, it gets heavier and heavier and heavier, and eventually breaks off all of the branches. And so our place was, acres of just broken branches on the ground everywhere. You couldn't walk through the paths. You couldn't get through the place. You couldn't get from one house to another. I had to go out and buy a new chainsaw because the old chainsaw just kind of died. So I got a new chainsaw and I chainsawed through trees that were, the biggest one was about 12 inches in diameter. And then the smallest ones were, a few inches in diameter. But I had to cut all this wood up. And then it was, pretty far away from the lake. So I had to put it in a wheelbarrow and build big stacks of freshly cut wood. None of it was burnable because it was all hemlock. There was one cedar tree that I had to cut down. But it was pretty major.
So where does it go?
Well, a lot of it I hauled into the deep forest, and some of it, about 2 or 3 tons of it, got taken off on barges.
Where's the deep forest? In the middle of the island?
In the middle of the property. I just dragged it in there. You'll never see it because we never go in there because it's the deep forest. Yeah.
It's a 36-acre island? So people can kind of picture what
36
we're
acres. And
about.
so I dragged it into, places where we never go, so you won't see it. But, it's still kind of a drag. It was a lot of dead branches and trees that were knocked over and stuff. And there was reports of some entire forests that went over because it was like a domino effect. And the trees got so covered with ice that they started falling over, and they'd push over the tree next to them, and the whole forest went over.
That's a trip. I wonder what that sounded like. Probably scary.
Well, they said that the sound of the forest was unimaginable because all you heard was the breaking of branches, one after another.
That's
after another.
freaky.
After another. Yeah. So that's what I dealt with most of the time. We were fortunate because none of the trees fell on our home or any of the houses or outbuildings. It fell on the outdoor lights. And I called up my guys who were the property managers there, and I said, "You got to fix the outdoor lights." And they had sent an electrician over and said, "No, these lights are too old. We have to put in a whole new system." But it's not too old. They just wanted a bigger job, I think. So I did it myself. I fixed them all.
You
myself.
did?
I did. Yeah.
You're handy.
Well,
handy.
I've done all electrical stuff before.
Guess what? You're gonna have to fix the light that I hit yesterday on the garage.
I saw that.
Did you see what I did?
How did you hit that light? So it looks like that's impossible to hit that light because it's like way up on top of the garage.
I know. So I had my car up top undoing the groceries because somebody was parked in the parking, right before the garage. So I drove up, took out the groceries, and I swore I had closed my trunk because I don't think my car would go backward if my trunk wasn't closed.
Well, it usually would give you a signal, would go beep, beep, beep or something and tell you the trunk's still open.
No. So I thought that was odd. And I didn't think twice about it. So I drove down to go get in the garage. All of a sudden I hear this bam. But it felt like I hit something on the ground. And I thought, oh no, what did I just hit, right? In the garage.
Like you ran over some sauce
Like I ran
or
over a plastic, bottle, but a big one. Something was not.
So the trunk whacked the light.
The trunk was open in the back of my car. So I drove into the garage and it whacked the light. And when I got out of the car, the trunk was up. I put it down. There's white paint all over
the car.
The car.
Oh,
yeah.
I haven't seen that. I'll have to look at that.
No dent, but I took the light out.
Yeah, so you did. I saw that. Anyways, we'll
You can
fix
fix it easily.
I can fix that light.
And
no
probably you
problem.
can buff out my white on my
I can
car.
do both of those things.
Yeah.
That is right, without having to hire
It's
outside
just
help.
kind of funny. It was one of those moments where it was it was like one of those days yesterday where things just happen and you have to like take care of it, deal with it.
Well, there was a lot of dealing with stuff when I was away too, and this. I never once put a hook in the water. I usually like to go fishing.
I know. Somebody asked me if you'd gone fishing, and I
No,
said,
never
I don't
put
know.
a hook in the water. Didn't have
That's
time.
criminal.
Did not have
Actually,
time.
that's criminal.
Well, next year there'll be a few more fish left in the lake because I didn't catch them this year, right?
That's
so
right.
It'll be easier to catch them next year.
I was just thinking, somebody left a message on my Instagram and said, "I love your podcast. It's like ketamine. It's like
What?
It's like, what do they call it? I couldn't figure out what they meant exactly. Something about like audio ketamine.
Well,
Is that good or bad?
I don't know. Having never done ketamine, I don't know whether it's good or bad.
Your podcast is like audio ketamine.
They do say, I do see signs along the highway that talk about ketamine treatment, like stuff like that. So I guess they're using ketamine, which is that, I mean, I'm not a doctor, but is that not like an animal tranquilizer?
You know what? All I know a couple things about it. I know that.
Eve, can you find out what ketamine is?
I think it's horse tranquilizer.
It's horse tranquilizer?
But people use it medically now.
Usually I am so loud and have a lot of energy. And so I thought to relate me to ketamine was kind of interesting.
Huh.
You know what I mean?
Well, us, the ketamine.
Well, yeah, but I'm part of that. And I can understand ketamine.
What? You can understand? I make people high?
No. I can understand because you're very even kind of keel like this.
Oh.
And so that makes sense for you. But for me, I was like, that's so interesting. I kind of like it because,
I have another question for Eve. So I have never had ketamine, but I did have in jail. I was forced to smoke PCP. Is PCP
what do you mean
the
forced?
same?
What do you mean forced to?
What do you mean?
Well, okay.
PCP is intense.
Is PCP the same thing? That's
No.
what I'm asking
I'm
Eve.
looking it up.
No.
So-
I don't think
PCP is
so.
like makes you crazy.
Well, I was put in. I remember I was arrested back in 1970 for my upperclassmen.
Pot.
My upperclassmen had
Right.
given me 25 pills and some about a 25th of an ounce of grass, and that was my payment for taking these pills down.
What
to some-
pills?
He gave me some speed that we take for exams. So we take, speed. We used to take like white crosses for exams. It was exam season.
Yeah.
And I was at Berkeley, and my upperclassmen in the fraternity house I was living in came to me before I was going down to LA for Thanksgiving, which is right around exam time. And he said, take these pills down and give them to another house down at USC. They need these for their exams. So I take them down, and they didn't want the pills. They didn't take them, so I had to take them back.
What do you mean they didn't want them?
Well,
Who doesn't want speed?
Well, I went to this house, the house I was
Who
told
goes,
to go
no,
to.
thanks.
I knocked on the door, and this guy came and he took the pills and he said, "Oh yeah, we were waiting for these." And then he came back 10 minutes later. He said, "We don't want them. Maybe they weren't what they were supposed to be. I don't know, but I was supposed to get paid $100 for them." And I put them back in my guitar case, and I took them back up
On a plane?
On a plane. Yeah.
Do you think that was very smart?
Well, obviously not, because I ended up in jail. So
I mean, I've never done anything like that. And I think if somebody said, would you take these pills on a plane? I would have said, no.
Well, I mean, look, this is 1970. It was before, like,
Does that make you dumber in 1970?
People were being arrested for drugs and stuff like that, but I didn't think this was anything. It was like, I thought I'm just taking some stuff down to help people take exams. And so I had this tiny quantity of marijuana, and then these 25
Which
pills.
then you couldn't have at all.
You couldn't have any marijuana. As a matter of fact, in 1970, my dad and I were driving through Nevada, and we saw a bus stop sign, bus stop in the back of a bus stop bench. It said, life sentence if caught with marijuana.
No.
Yes, in Nevada in 1970. So people were treating it very harshly then.
Wow.
But anyway, so that's how I got
understood
into the situation. But I ended up months and months later being convicted. I think I've told this story already on this podcast.
But you haven't told the PCP of it all. So that's what now people are like, what is that about?
So I finally, by mistake, I'm sentenced to jail. The first time.
How do you mean by mistake?
Well, because the DA and my lawyer, who happened to be the most sophisticated drug lawyer in San Francisco. He was also David Crosby's lawyer of Crosby, Stills and Nash. And I happened to find him
That's a first
by
name drop
chance.
of the day.
Boom. So my girlfriend at the time, she wasn't my girlfriend, but she was I wanted her to be my girlfriend. She was in the courtroom the morning I was being arraigned, and I had no money. She had no money. And so she was calling out to anybody in the lobby of the courtroom, I need a lawyer. Is there anybody who can help me? And this guy, Michael Stepanian, who was like this incredible drug lawyer in San Francisco at the time, he said, "Oh, I'll help you." And so he took my case on pro bono. And he happened to be this huge drug lawyer. So he made a deal with the DA and with the judge, this woman, Judge Miller was her name. And the deal was that I would plead guilty to possession of prescription drugs without a prescription and get a slap on the wrist and maybe a year of probation, and I would go home.
I would not buy that.
Well,
I would think you would go to jail for that.
No, I had
if you plead guilty, they're going to put you in jail.
Well, not if you make a deal. You make a deal with the DA, that's the district attorney. You make a deal with the judge, that's the judge.
Yeah.
Once the deal is made, you know that when you walk in and you stand up and you say, "I'm guilty," they're going to say, "Oh, bad boy, here's a slap on the wrist, go home and don't do it again." So I get to the courthouse on the morning I'm going to have to face the judge, right? And I find out that's not the same judge. Judge Miller, this woman who had made the deal with the DA, had gotten sick and she wasn't there. And there was a guy named Delarios who was sitting on the dais that day. And I kept waiting for my lawyer, Michael Stepanian, to come in. And I waited and I waited and I waited. And this other judge was sitting up there and I'm all alone. I'm waiting for my name to be called. And suddenly this young kid comes in and he's all sweaty and he's trying to get his tie all straightened. And he sits down next to me and he says, "Are you Harry Hamlin?" I go, "Yeah." He goes, "Okay." He said, "I'm so really sorry, but Mr. Stepanian got called to Alaska last night because David Crosby got arrested yesterday in Alaska. So he flew up to Anchorage and he's dealing with that." He said, I'm here in his place." And I go, "So do you know what's going on?" He goes, "Yeah, he told me all about it." So it comes to my name. The judge asked me to stand up and he says, "How do you plead?" I say, "Guilty, Your Honor," because that's the deal that we've made. But and the kid says, "Oh no, that's Judge Delarios. He's the hanging judge." And now I'm thinking, what's up with that, right? And so the judge looks at me and he says, "Young man, you're pleading guilty to possession of these drugs." And I said, "Yes, sir." And he goes, "Well, I'm looking at your history here, and it looks to me like you've had all the privileges of anybody, and you've thrown them away. You've tossed away all these great privileges." He said, I'm going to make a case out of this. I'm going to make this a case study, and I'm sentencing you to 3 years in the federal penitentiary.
No.
Yes, that would have been San Quentin. Okay, so I did.
Well,
I
you
heard
would have
this.
been in there with David Carpenter, my
I
mom's
would have,
serial killer
I
guy.
mean, I couldn't believe what I was hearing, and neither could the kid who was next to me, the young clerk from Stepanian's office, right?
I'm
and
sure
so
he couldn't.
So I'm looking at the judge looking at me, and I'm thinking, did I hear that right? Am I going to jail for 3 years? And the kid next to me says, "Yeah, you heard that right." And then the kid, okay, this is why this kid, I got to find him. If I could only find, I actually called Michael Stepanian a few years ago. I think he's died since then. But I asked him if he remembered who the clerk was, or he said he didn't remember the case at all. He remembered nothing about it. But this kid then looks up at the judge and lies through his teeth. He says, "Your Honor, you can't sentence Mr. Hamlin to 3 years in the federal penitentiary because he's an asset to his community. He teaches math and English to underprivileged children twice a week." And I'm listening to this kid, and he's spinning this tale about how great I am as a citizen, and then the judge, I'm still standing up, and the judge says, "Is this true, Mr. Hamlin?" And the kid is like kicking my feet under the table, like, and because we haven't communicated about this at all. He's come up with this on the fly, totally, and so he says, I said, "Yes, Your Honor, it's true," and I'm spinning around thinking, well, now what? I said, "I'm digging myself a big hole here," right? And the judge says, "Well, where do you do this, Mr. Hamlin?" And I figured there must be an Episcopal church in Claremont, California called All Saints, because all Episcopal churches are called All Saints. And I said, "Your Honor, at the Episcopal church in All Saints," and the kid's kicking me under the table, right?
Look at you two lying away.
Well, I mean, I
To
would have
save
gone to
your
jail for
life.
3 years.
Yeah.
And so the judge
Gosh.
finally takes a long time, and he thinks about it. And he looks at me and he looks looks at the kid, and he says, all right. He says, I understand. Okay. If you're an asset to your community, then it would be unfair to sentence you to deprive those kids of your services for 3 years. He said, I'm sentencing you to 1 year in the county jail.
Oh, still.
And then the kid says, but Your Honor, twice a week, these kids. And the judge goes, well, okay, all right. 1 year in the county jail, I'm going to suspend all but 18 days. So I had to go to jail for 18 days.
You were in jail for 18 days?
Yeah, but he managed to get it down to only on weekends because I had to be available during the week to teach the underprivileged kids math and English, right? So I had to spend like 4 weekends in jail. And on the very first weekend that I went, because this gets quite complicated, but
it certainly does.
The warden of the jail, his brother was an actor in the acting school at Berkeley. He was playing Cyrano de Bergerac at the time, and I was being a member of the drama department at Berkeley. I knew all about him and all about Cyrano and all about the play, and I was even being considered to be an understudy for that play. So the DA and my lawyer, who finally got back into town, called me up and apologized profusely for the fact that the judge wasn't there, the deal wasn't honored, and I had to go through all this geschrei. And they said, listen, we want you to sit down and have a hamburger with the warden because you know his brother, and his brother's name was Boyd. So the guy was, last name was Boyd, the warden. So I go to have a burger with the warden of the jail before I go for the first time.
It's so weird.
And
it's weird. Is it not?
I sit down with his brother, the kid who's the actor who's playing Cyrano. I sit down with the warden, and I sit down with the lawyer, and we all have a cheeseburger together. And the warden says, listen, when you get there, don't worry about anything. I'll make sure that you're okay. This is a big mistake. It never should have happened. You can, I'll take care of you in jail. You've got to go, but I will make sure that your experience is really great.
Jones Road Beauty is a minimalist makeup brand founded by the fabulous makeup artist Bobbi Brown. These products are great. Bobbi Brown knows her stuff. She really does. And, we want to look good and we want it to be simple. Frustration with makeup in general. You don't look natural. It feels like a mask, feels heavy. Makeup routine is too involved, too many different steps, takes forever to do. Unsure of the best way to do makeup. It never looks good. The products are so easy and classic. And I love the Miracle Balm. It's just enough tinted moisturizer. I wore it to an event the other night and it was really good. It's clean makeup that actually performs. And that is what we want. Jones Road products enhance what makes you, you, rather than covering up. Create the effortless, natural, no makeup look. Their bestseller is Miracle Balm, the ultimate makeup skincare hybrid product that gives a natural glow. It's a true multitasker. Can be used as a tint, a blush, a bronzer, a highlight, even on your eyelids or on your lips. It will replace almost all products in your makeup bag. Jones Road also has a full lineup of effortless skin-first staples like their Just Enough Tinted Moisturizer, a lightweight formula that smooths an even skin tone with a soft touch of coverage, hides redness, looks natural, and feels like nothing on your skin. For a limited time, our listeners are getting a free cool gloss on their first purchase when they use code HUSBAND at checkout. Just head to jonesroadbeauty.com and use code HUSBAND at checkout. After you purchase, they will ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them our show sent you.
I get to jail the first time. It's a Friday night. I get there. I show up on time. I'm put in a holding cell, and there's a kid in the holding cell who's wearing real preppy clothes. Like a blue Oxford cloth shirt and slacks and penny loafers, and he's crying his eyes out. And just the two of us are in there, and I kind of take pity on the kid, and I say, "What's going on with you?" He's about my age. He goes, "Oh my God, I was arrested, and they found what they say is LSD in my car, and I don't know what to do." And he was being arrested for felony possession of psychedelics, and so I was trying to calm the guy down. He was like really freaked out, and so the guy behind the counter calls me up, and he says, "Mr. Hamlin, I see that the warden has given you special privileges. You don't have to be strip searched, and And then I say, well, could I be put in the same cell with this kid over here who's, crying? And because it turned out that kid had gone to the rival school of mine. He went to Lawrenceville. I went to the Hill School. We were rivals on the East Coast as boarding schools. So the guy said, okay, sure, because he had this note from the warden that said, take care of Mr. Hamlin. So he put me in the same cell with the kid. The only difference is that I was being convicted for a misdemeanor. The kid was being arrested for a felony. So they put me into his cell. They didn't put him into my cell. I went into the felony cell where I was, one of 12 people in the cell. And then at about 1 o'clock in the morning, the kid from Lawrenceville was bailed out.
How come?
Because somebody bailed him out, his father or something bailed him out of jail. And so I'm sitting in the cell with all the felons, all the murderers, and they were murderers. And, this was a bad, bad group of people. And they were all sitting around, as the kid was being let out, they were all sitting around in a circle around a portable television, smoking a joint, passing a joint around, right? And I thought, that's really weird. I'm in jail and they're passing a joint around? That's really bizarre. But you couldn't smell any pot or anything like that.
And the fact that you're in there because of pot.
And I was in there because of
Basically.
pot. And I'm saying, how could they be smoking anything in jail, right? Well, pretty soon, the audio level, they started screaming, and it just got louder and louder and louder among these guys in the cell. And they were just being really raucous. And they actually ripped the shower off the wall. There was sort of a fiberglass shower that was against the wall, and they ripped it off. And I thought, where are the guards? These people are obviously like really fucked up, right? They're really stoned.
Yeah.
There's no guards anywhere. And so finally, about 3 o'clock in the morning, I drifted off to sleep and was awakened at about 7:30 a.m. when the kid who was sleeping above me got out of his bunk and put on a suit and then left.
To go to court.
I guess.
Probably.
I didn't know.
Right?
And so we wake up in the morning, right? And I'm sitting at this bench and they're serving breakfast and this guy comes over to me and he's got a joint in his hand. And he says, hey man, have some of this. I said, no, I'm really okay. I don't really. He's, no man, have some of this. I said, I'm really fine. I really don't want to get it. He said, man, listen to me. He said, have some of this.
Okay.
So that's how I was forced to have the PCP, because what it was somebody had brought in a little sack of tobacco, of rolling tobacco, and they had soaked it in PCP.
So it wasn't even marijuana.
It was
tobacco.
Just tobacco soaked in PCP. So they were smoking it. So there was no odor, but they were high as kites.
And it makes you crazy, doesn't it? Make you like cuckoo.
I was so stoned. Because the guy forced me to take 3 or 4 hits of it, right? And I was completely messed up after I had that. So that's my PCP story. And I can't imagine if ketamine is anything like PCP, why anybody would use it to get better. It would seem to get
I
more
think it
fucked up.
calms you down. I think ketamine is like a calming, it's a tranquilizer. So, I mean, if it's a horse tranquilizer, it's a big old tranquilizer.
Oh, well, I got messed up. Eve, did we find out was PCP related to ketamine in any way?
They're in a similar category, but they are different. So PCP is a dissociative anesthetic, and it's known for its mind-altering effects, hallucinations, distorted perceptions of sound, and psychotic behavior. So that aspect is not present with ketamine, as far as I understand. Ketamine is more of a tranquilizer, as Lisa said.
Right.
It's used for depression and medical
Yeah,
situations.
a lot of they're using it now, like therapists are using it in a controlled way to help people that have depression and such.
So that could be an answer for people who have depression and stuff. Just to finish off that story, okay, a few minutes after I was forced to smoke the PCP and got completely messed up, a phalanx of officers came in front of the cell with their batons in their fists, and they said, "Shake down!" And everybody we had to leave the cell and line up against the wall with our hands against the wall. And they went in and they turned over everything in the cell, just totally ripped everything apart. And then the warden saw me standing there, and he comes over and he goes, "Harry, what are you doing in this cell?" And I tried to explain to him that I asked to go in there because the kid from Lawrenceville was there. And he says, "Come with me, get out of here." So he took me away and put me into a cell with minor criminals, which is where I should have been to begin with. But because he took me away, all of the guards, because I was the only person who was brought in the day before and not strip searched,
You had to be
They all thought that I was the one who brought it in. I was the only person who hadn't been strip searched who came in, right? So all of the guards thought that the warden had given me a favor and I brought the drugs in. The warden was suspended because of this, because all of a sudden so all the guards thought that I had brought it in, but because the warden came over and took me away from the lineup, all the inmates thought that I was working with the warden to get them busted. So I was getting it from both sides. I got bad treatment from both the inmates and from the guards for the rest of the time I was in jail, which is 3 more weekends.
Wow.
It was like weird.
Nightmare.
Yeah, they would do stuff like if I wanted a book, they would give me a book. I think one of the books I had was by John Fowles, and it was called The Collector or something. It was about a guy who was incarcerated, right? And they took out the last chapter. They gave me the book, but they tore out the last chapter. If I wanted cards, they'd give me 50 cards instead of 51 cards, 52 cards. So they did all kinds of stuff. Like they would drop the coffee. They'd hand me a cup of coffee, but oops, and it would fall on the ground.
It's hard for me to relate to this, but it's crazy.
Well, I highly recommend jail.
No thanks. I'm good. You know what? I can live my life without ever being arrested and ever going to jail. Thank you very much. I'll just hit lights and things, with my car and,
it's great
silly things like that.
Anyway.
No, thanks. I'm going to pass on that. No, I've been busy being a nurse. That's what I've been doing. I've been
that's right.
Nurse
Let's talk
Lisa.
about Delilah, because it's good. We think, we might have found the reason why she's had all of her health issues for the last 14 years, 10, 12, 14 years. Yeah.
So, Delilah, and she has shared, I don't think we're speaking out of school, that she's had some health issues.
Sure, yeah.
A couple months ago, she has a modeling agent who had witnessed and been around her in different situations. And she said to her, you know what? I'm going to take you to my OBGYN because I think you have endometriosis.
Let's explain what that is, because when I heard the word endometriosis, I did not know what it was. So
do you know what it is now?
I do know what it is.
So why don't you explain it?
Well, I'm not a doctor.
Yeah.
From what I understand, the uterine wall has specific cells that are designed to be part of the uterine wall. They slough off once a month when you have your period and all that. And from what I understand, in some girls, a certain percentage, when they get their first period, sometimes those cells have a tendency to move outside of the uterine wall and actually start replicating outside of the uterus, and then that is what is endometriosis. But maybe you can fill in.
Well, sort of. It causes lesions. Mm-hmm. So you get these endometriosis lesions, and there's 4 stages of it. So you could have stage 1 up to stage 4, which is quite advanced. And you can't really tell if you have endometriosis for real unless they go in laparoscopically.
So they can kind of see it with ultrasound, though, no?
I don't know if they can even kind of see it. They can assess by your symptoms if they think there's a really good chance that you might have it. When I finally got to talk to the doctor, she said it takes 9 to 11 years usually for someone to get diagnosed.
And that from the moment of their first period?
Yeah.
Okay.
Nobody really checks for it because you have to literally go in laparoscopically to prove whether you have it or not.
Are there any statistics about how many people out of like 100 get it, or out of 1,000?
There are, but I don't have them at my fingertips right now. But there definitely are, and it's more than you think.
Huh.
And it's really interesting because during, Delilah's had health issues since she was 11. And during this time, it was really interesting. A couple of years ago, when Delilah was really having some problems, Lena Dunham, the actress, reached out to me on Instagram. That's one of the beauties of Instagram. People can DM you. You can DM people. And she DM'd me and said, I think that Delilah could have endometriosis. But I was and she's had her whole journey that Lena's been very open about her endometriosis. As long as she's been open about it, we can talk about it. Yes, of course. Okay. That's why I'm talking about it. And so is Amy Schumer, another person. And Bindi Irwin, another person who's had endometriosis. So there's a lot of actresses and a lot of people that have come out, but of course I didn't know that until now. Really,
and all the
pay attention.
symptoms that Delilah had were in line with the symptoms
Yes.
that endometriosis gives you?
Well, we didn't know that at the time, but yes. And so when Lena reached out to me, I didn't pay attention. I didn't really hear her because there were other issues going on that didn't allow me to go, oh, we should check for endometriosis.
Well, we thought we checked for so many different things.
She did have pandas.
She had pandas. We
So
know
that's-
that. But the pandas very well may be somehow related to this, you know, because
We don't know
that's
yet.
just around 11 is when the hormones start working.
Well, and
you
she
know.
started her period at 14.
Sort of period at 14, but
Yeah.
you know, there's some hormonal activity going on before that, is there not?
I believe so. Probably, yes.
As your
Yeah.
uterus is developing and you're developing those cells, who knows? We'd have to look
Yeah.
into that more. But, you know, she had the PANDAS, which is pediatric autoimmune neuropsychologic disorder related to streptococcus.
Yes.
And she had that when she was 11. She had it really badly. And then she developed SIBO, which is small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. I guess your small intestine is supposed to have only a certain kind of a number of bacteria. And so that was very painful for her.
Yes.
And she was very that would take her offline
Yes.
completely. She would be bent over in a fetal position on the ground with the pain from that.
And her periods were
Really
so
bad.
excruciatingly
And she had horrible headaches
painful.
too.
Yes.
And this is all before she started to have her mini seizures, which
Yes.
were not grand mal seizures,
That's right.
but seizures nevertheless.
So this doctor says, I get on the phone with her, and she says, I think also that her seizures have to do with endometriosis.
Wow.
And I'm like, and SIBO is caused most of the time by endometriosis. So all these things that had been going on that we could not find answers for, she goes in and has the surgery. Finally, you know, we've been waiting for like 6 weeks. She gets a date. She goes in last week to have the surgery. Sure enough, she has stage 1. The doctor had thought she had stage 4 endometriosis, but she had stage 1. But the doctor said to me, stage 1 is more painful than stage 4.
And it can make you infertile too, can it?
Yes.
Yeah.
She wants her to freeze her eggs.
Uh-huh.
We haven't discussed it since, now that it's stage 1 instead of stage 4, but she had suggested that she freeze her eggs after this.
So stage 4 people can actually
Well,
lose
yes.
the ability to have
She
children.
said if we hadn't done surgery now, in 2 years, Delilah could have been infertile.
Wow.
So cut to, have the laparoscopic surgery last week, and this doctor is a magician in this. She does at least 4 to 7 a day on Friday of these endometriosis laparoscopic surgeries. Delilah goes in. She finds out it's stage 1. They're lesions, and Delilah got to see what they look like. It's like canker sores. They look like canker sores.
How many did she have? You know.
I don't know, but it was a lot. It was a bunch that she.
And did they say that this is a cure? Like once you get it out, you get it out.
Hopefully, she cuts them out, and then here's another gross statistic of it. Though she had blood pooled in her pelvis, just sitting there, like a cup of it or more of blood sitting in her pelvis.
Where did it come from? Do we know?
From the endometriosis, not from her
really?
period. So there's nowhere for it to go, if I'm correct. I'm not a doctor, but I'm trying to, tell you what the doctor said to Delilah.
And she's been feeling like much better, right?
Well,
Tell
she
me.
had the surgery a week ago, and I'm telling you, she's like a different person. I mean, you've seen her, but you just got back.
I just got back. I've only seen her for a day.
I have not heard her complain about anxiety. It caused great anxiety, panic attacks, the seizures, amazing pain, headache, nausea. She has not complained of any of it in a week.
This could be it. This could be the thing.
It's just, I think that the subject really is, and I think it's so important to talk about women's health because it is so down on the totem pole. I saw a post last week of all the men on the board talking about women's health that, the president has put together. There's not a woman on that panel.
Of course not. No.
Women's health? There's not a woman dealing with it at all at the White House?
No, because would there have been any women in The Handmaid's Tale in Gilead running those? No.
Exactly.
No.
So, I think that now that I've, really researched it, read up on what Amy Schumer's gone through, Bindi Irwin, Lena Dunham, it's truly unbelievable what these women have gone through and how much pain and suffering and how women's health is just not a priority. I think it's so interesting that, so many women probably suffer from this. And PCOS is another part of...
What is PCOS?
PCOS is like cystic things that happen on your ovaries, I think, if I'm,
Cystic things that have like a cyst?
Like a cyst will come on your ovary and it can burst
cyst.
And it can, make you very bloated. And I know that a lot of women suffer from that. And it was so interesting. I was talking the other day to somebody, when we were growing up, my era, that sort of thing didn't seem to be an issue.
Well, if I'm not wrong, you had some stuff removed.
Well, I had a fibroid. I had
tumor?
a big fibroid tumor, as did my mom. So again, it's probably all very hereditary. So my mom had a fibroid tumor and she ended up having a hysterectomy at 35 after she had me.
Because of the fibroid tumor?
Yeah. The doctor was just like, well, are you going to have any more kids? And she was like, I don't know. I don't think so. And he goes, well, let's just take it out.
Oh, God.
Let's just take that uterus
well,
out.
How old were you when you had your last child? You were 39.
37.
37.
But who's counting?
Okay.
Yeah.
Well.
No, I was 37 when I had Amelia. So when I was 21, I had the fibroid tumor that was this big,
as a watermelon?
Big as a softball on my uterus. And so my doctor was Connie Chen at the time, I remember, and she said I just snipped it off. But, it was like having a C-section. I have a C-section scar. So at 21, I had that. My mom, Lois, had the fibroids and had the uterus taken out. So I'm sure it's hereditary and just like morphed into endometriosis.
Oh, really? Oh, you think they're two related?
Maybe. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. Again,
we'll
have the doctor
we'll
on. I'd love to have her on. She also has a podcast.
Oh, yeah. Let's have her on.
Let's have her on so we can talk about it because, I love to mention it. But again, I can't give you all the facts.
Well, let's have Delilah and the doctor on.
Be great, right?
Yeah.
So great. Huh. So great. So anyway, Amelia's going to go next week to get checked because she evidently has some cystic PCOS. You didn't know that, but now she's going to go to this doctor and get checked.
Oh.
So
okay. So better safe than sorry.
Get checked.
Right?
Like
so,
if you're having really horrible periods.
But this is Delilah's horrible periods. But her pain was off the charts. She would have to sleep with a heating pad every night to counteract the pain.
It's horrible.
And she would, and her stomach was so messed up. She was taking
and bloated
acids
all
the time.
God.
And she carried Pepto-Bismol with her wherever she went. Yeah, it very weird.
And it's really debilitating. I really now that we've been through this with our own daughter, and I've read these stories of all these other women that have gone through it. It is extremely debilitating and painful. So, anyway, I've been a nurse. I was quite a good nurse, I will say. I'm quite a good nurse.
Well,
yeah.
I'm sure you are. And I wish I had been here for the surgery thing, but I had this ice storm to deal with.
I know. It's very difficult. I would say the hardest thing I had to deal with as a nurse was the dog vomited all over the bed. And I had to change the sheets. And I'm going to be honest about it. Changing a king-size bed, sheets, and a duvet cover and a duvet is not for the faint of heart. It's very difficult. It's not easy. I'm going to tell you, it is not an easy thing.
You have a duvet
by
cover
yourself
and a big king-size bed that you have to change.
Very difficult.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe as hard as you dealing with your ice storm trees that you have to.
Okay. Did it involve like electronic saws and equipment to do that?
No, but I will say that for me, it's challenging to get that stuff on right. The sheets,
Well,
the duvet cover.
I've actually been there. When you're trying to pull those sheets on, depending on who makes them, and you get one corner, and then the other corner flies out, and you go, but wait, I just did that corner, and then you go back and you do it again, and then the other corner flies out. I've been down there.
I know people are relating. It took me like 45 minutes to literally change an entire king size bed. I had to wash the sheets too, wash them, dry them, then put them all back on.
Welcome to being a housewife and a mother. Okay, there you go. Housewife Lisa. Okay.
It was comical, and if I'd had a camera on it, you could have seen the visuals and laughed. But
Were you screaming at the sheets? And
I was
saying,
laughing. I was actually laughing about it because it was like a Chinese puzzle at times. You know, you'd get the sheet off wrong, so you're not putting it on, so you have to turn it around. I mean, it was comical. Me changing a sheet, changing a bed. That was my hardest thing. Everything else, I handled fine.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. Okay, so hopefully she's on the mend. And,
I think so. She's out driving. She's out.
She's out. Yeah. So I don't want.
Cheers to that. I'm so happy about it. It's so nice to see that. I think this is going to take care of a lot of things. I do.
Well, let's hope so.
I'm very hopeful about it, but we just got to find a way to focus on women's health and support that more.
Well, I think we need to bring Delilah in and the doctor, who, by the way, when I looked up the top endometriosis doctors in Los Angeles, her name was at the very top.
I'm very grateful to her.
You got two patients of ours, so there you go. Well, it's been an interesting month for a lot of things too. I mean, how about the fact that the sauce is now in Gelson's?
Yeah,
okay,
congratulations
we got our very
to that.
First
my favorite
retail.
Market, by the way.
That's your favorite market.
I love Gelson's. That's where I'll go.
So
I love my Gelson's.
Our first
Congrats.
big retail deal was with Gelson's, which is like the best store to go to in LA.
I love Gelson's.
Gelson's, Whole Foods, and Bristol Farms, they're the top of the heap in LA. So,
I know. I shop at all of them, Harry.
I know you do. Believe me, I see the bill. We want to be in thousands of stores within a couple of years. Why not? Because we're an impact company. We want to change the whole food system in America by only providing the most clean food with absolutely no preservatives, and you can make all the stuff at home. We give you the recipe, how you cook it, and stuff like that. So it's really exciting.
I know it is. Yeah. That's a hard business.
Yeah,
that food business.
It's
not easy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when you make a product that tastes like ours, was so good, and it's so clean, doesn't have any stuff in it, any bad shit.
And you saw Dorinda Medley.
Yeah, that's right.
Did a live TikTok making lasagna with your sauce.
With the marinara sauce, the marinara number 7, I think.
Yeah.
So, that's an amazing sauce because it has 7 vegetables in it.
It's delicious.
And then tomatoes are a fruit. So it has 7 vegetables plus tomatoes, which are fruit.
Yeah. So that was cool.
Yeah.
That was one of the first things she said to me when we were in the castle.
Doing traders. Right.
She said, I need to get that sauce and make my lasagna. And I said, I will make sure you have that sauce by the time you get home.
She liked it?
I think so, yeah.
I hope so.
I hope so, too. I actually didn't see the final because it was live.
Oh, well, it's damn good sauce, so I'm sure she liked it.
I'm sure she did, too. She was at Bluestone Manor, which is this house she had with her second husband, who passed away.
And it's in
sadly.
New York or something? It's back east?
Where is it?
In the Berkshires. Massachusetts.
The Berkshires.
In the Berkshires.
Yeah.
It's really cool. I mean, I've only seen it on TV. But now that I know and have worked with Dorinda, all my gays, all they want is to go to Bluestone Manor.
Oh. Because what?
They just want to go.
It's just a beautiful place, gorgeous spot.
It's iconic, too. Like it's iconic in housewife history land. And so all the gays are calling me saying, please. And then my publicist, Jeffrey, who just got married, congrats to Jeffrey and Kyle, he's like, oh my God, if we could have that as our wedding gift.
But to go to Bluestone Manor?
For like
or
a
to have your
weekend.
wedding at Bluestone Manor? No.
They want to go there. And I'm like, well, I can't really
give
you that exactly unless Dorinda says, yeah, come on for the weekend.
Is it sort of like Downton Abbey or something?
Yeah, kind of.
Oh, wow.
I mean, it looks like that. Like it's big.
Oh.
and has a bunch of rooms. Like there's a shark room that I think Countess Luann stayed in. Like a lot of drama happened as a
So
set.
they would
you know,
they would
they'd
take
go
the
there.
cast all the way to the Berkshires for
Yeah,
a
of
week.
course. It's free. It's her house.
Oh.
They're so fucking cheap. They'll go anywhere that's, I can say that. They're so fucking cheap. They'll use anything that you have and it's cool. So she'd have everybody go and stay there and, drama would ensue. I think the New York cast, and I'm going to say this, is the most iconic of all of the Housewives. Those first few years on
That's
New
something
York.
I've never seen. Did you see them all?
I've seen a bunch, and Amelia's watching it now. It's so iconic. Those women are so iconic. I mean, on just another level, I have to say. So that group is the most iconic of all the Housewives
As far as
franchises.
I'm concerned, you're the only iconic one.
Well, thank you, Harry. I appreciate
I'm a little
that.
biased, but
You're a little biased, but I will say, coming from another franchise, that to me is the OG franchise of the entire thing. It's true. And I'm not just saying that. I wouldn't say that if I didn't feel it.
No, of course, because you would say that the Beverly Hills one was the best. But
They are.
okay,
We come a close second, I think, and Atlanta probably all together. But New York takes it.
okay, well,
It takes it for sure.
I'm
And
gonna let them have it.
Amelia's watching it now, and I'll walk in and I'll see certain moments that are iconic. They're just moments in zeitgeist history that are like, oh my God, and they just live. They'll live forever. It's true. And so the shark room is one of her rooms at Bluestone.
That's a very good plug for the New York franchise. Good.
Well, it's gone.
Oh, it is. Well,
There's no such thing anymore, Harry.
Oh.
They got rid of it. They had some issues. There's the issues that go on. They had a little issue thing happen, and they decided to reboot it. You know what that means?
Yeah, of course I know.
They reboot it, and they get a whole new cast. Sometimes that's
Didn't
good.
work.
No.
Oh, really? So they canceled it?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
New York is canceled.
Well, no.
Is it officially canceled?
Andy Cohen would say, no, it's not. They're recasting it again, or they're rebooting
they're on
it
hiatus.
again. Listen, everybody has their own drama from Housewives. Clearly, I have mine. They have theirs, but they went bye-bye. Like, it's bye-bye. But I think because it's so iconic, they'll try to, I personally think, which is probably too expensive, but they should just get that iconic group back.
Really? Does have the All-Star group come back? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Wouldn't they have to pay them through the nose to bring them back, though? I mean, they have to have a Brinks truck drive
I don't
up
know.
to each
Everyone's
house.
so desperate at certain times. They would probably all go back.
Oh, really?
Of course.
Well,
Yeah.
we're not desperate, thank God. You're not desperate. Man, do we have so many projects going right now?
I know. I wish we could talk about them.
Oh.
We have some exciting things that we're working on because we're just worker bees like that, and we hustle.
We're creators. We're creators.
And we have some things in the hopper that are very out of the ordinary and exciting.
Yeah.
That
totally
I wish we
exciting.
could talk about right now. We can't, so we're going to give you a little tease of it.
We're just teasing you a little bit, but
Yeah.
when these things happen, they are going to become iconic for sure.
Oh, I had dinner, by the way, with Erica and Dorit while you were gone.
Oh, really? And
I did.
And what was the subject discussed?
Well, I mean, all that gets talked, they're filming right now. So all that really gets talked about is
the show.
the show.
Oh.
But, I love those girls, and it was fun. We went to Funky in Beverly Hills. I think it's Funke. It's a very happening, like, Italian restaurant. It has a rooftop bar. And it was some kind of like full moon thing or something. Anyway, we're up there on the deck. There's like an outdoor deck in Beverly Hills. You can sit up there and have a drink. And anyway, so it's Erica, myself, and Dorit. And we were sitting across there's a couch area outside, and we're having a cocktail. And these girls across from us wanted to like celebrate this, full moon thing. So we had a cute little moment with them. And then,
They were fans?
yeah.
Uh-huh.
They were young, though. They were like 20. They were like the girls' age.
I mean, I have to tell you that when I run into people who recognize me from your show, the vast majority of them are like 15, 16, 17 years old. They're children.
Really?
Yes. I mean, I don't understand that, but the children come up to me and they go, "Oh my God, you're Harry Hamlin, you're Lisa Rinna's husband. Oh my God, let's not talk about you." Anyway.
What does that feel like?
Well, I mean, I'm just very pleased that they're kids.
Yeah,
know, 'cause
there's a young demographic.
There's a young
It's true.
demographic
These
out
kids
there.
were like 22, 23.
Yeah, and these kids they're coming through are even younger. And they're oh my God, they're like that. And they're like 15. It's
crazy, isn't it?
Yeah. So
It was fun to see the girls, though. They were just about ready to go on their trip. They went to,
Ibiza, right?
no, they went to Florence.
Oh,
No, our kids went to Ibiza.
Oh.
Ibiza.
which kids went to Florence?
No, the Housewives.
Oh,
The Housewives.
said the kids. It was
Dorit
good.
and Erica.
you called them kids. Just
I
it was
did?
so fun to see the kids. Did she not say that?
I think you were saying the kids who joined you, right? Because you met.
The girls across from us
Yeah.
were nice, but though I wouldn't call Dorit and Erica kids.
No, I don't think she did.
Oh, whatever.
No, they were going to Florence
Uh-huh.
as their trip. I'm trying to think if there's anything I can say about that dinner because people are like, "What happened at the dinner?" Well,
Uh-oh. Is there something about to come out?
no,
You're about
I'm
to let a
just
cat out of the
trying to-
bag?
No, I have to be careful about that kind of
cat's wanting to
thing.
get out of the bag, Lisa.
I have to be careful about that sort of thing. Yeah.
Well, once again, everybody, thanks for checking in. Let's not talk about me. I'm the husband. Thanks.
Don't smoke PCP. That's the lesson here. Don't take a
Don't-
joint
no, don't-
laced with PCP.
Don't go to jail, and don't carry anything for an upperclassman when you're in a fraternity.
No drugs on a plane, guys. No.
Anyway, thanks for checking in.